Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Josh and this is Jess and welcome to the Sizzix Spooktacular virtual class. Oh, that wasn't very Halloweeny, was it?
Spooky enough. I think we can do better than that.
Welcome to the Sizzix Spooktacular virtual class. Oh, that was much better, wasn't it?
Much better, much more spooky. So we're going to share some Halloween techniques with you guys. We're going to show each other a technique using some fun Sizzix dyes and some Tim Holtz dyes. I know you are well versed in Tim Holtz, so we're going to use some just glass jars and we're going to do something a little bit different each and we're going to swap some skills.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun, I think. So I'm going to be using some sort of painty techniques and it looks like you're going to be using some die cut, some stenciling.
Indeed.
It's going to be really, really great.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Okay. So I will start just by showing you the dyes that I'll be using today. Two fantastic Tim Holtz dyes. We've got the retro Halloween. I love the story behind this and we'll talk about that later.
Love that one.
It's such a nice dye. There's so many details in there, but just from one cut. And then I've got the bold text Halloween. Everybody loves a bold text dye and this one's perfect for a sort of Halloween make.
You can use that over and over again as well. And then I'm going to be using our Sizzix Halloween dye. So this is the Halloween Motifs from Chapter 3 this year. So you've got a variety of different designs. They're a little bit more cutesy and that's the kind of vibe that I'm going with.
Yeah,
so,
they look really nice.
Yeah, do you want to start off? Because I know you've got some paint, so yours is going to have to dry for a little bit and I'll get a few of my bits out.
That's going to work out well. Your stuff can come in while my stuff's dry and hopefully we can time it properly. So I'm going to start just by, and I'm going to use quite a lot of this adhesive, so I'm going to tip quite a lot out. Well, I do actually want a lot. That looks like it was a mistake, but it was actually very skilled of me. All I'm going to use this for here is just covering this jar here that Jess kindly gave me. We're short of a few jars.
But it's good though because it shows how literally just using the same one, you can get these like super cheap like packs of them online or whatever or from a craft store and you can just buy multiple of them and you could try all the different techniques and you could use them outside of Halloween as well. But they're just really simple ones and I like that they've got the flat edge all the way around and then they've got a flat bottom.
Yeah,
which is
I like these.
I really wanted.
I've got a few different jars just to show these techniques, but this is actually my favourite. And I feel like a jar for Halloween is just a perfect thing to display somewhere because there's so many things you can do with them.
It is.
You know, you can have sort of candles in them shining through, or you can have sweets or candy in them. Just to show you here that the Express Glue is perfect to use sort of as a Mod Podge sort of thing. Because what I'm going to do now, once I'm going to leave this to dry and we'll have a look what you're going to get started with. But then I'm going to switch to a different jar.
Movie magic over here.
Movie magic.
Right, so while yours is drying, I've got one of those jars and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a kind of a stencil effect and for that I'm going to use some of our aluminium sheets. So these are the silver ones, they come in 3 different colours so it's completely up to you which colour. It doesn't particularly matter because we're going to peel them off, but if you did like the look of it just as the sheets then you could definitely leave these on. And what I've done is I've die cut a few of those little ghosts on there out of the aluminium sheets and I'm just going to peel these off because these have a sticky layer on the back and that is one of the main reasons that I'm using them.
It's such a time saver.
It
is such a time saver.
So you don't have to use any adhesive or anything. It's already sticky on the back and because it's a metal, it's a thin metal. It's not paper or anything like that or an effect. It's actually metal. It's going to resist whatever we put over the top. So I'm just going to create just a little kind of motif over this jar. Just put a few of them just dotted around, probably say for a jar this size about 4 or 5 of them, but if you've got a big jar, you could completely cover them. You could add some more of the elements if you didn't want just the ghosts. So I'm just going to do 3 for now, just so we can see the front. I'm going to take that lid off as well, because I don't want to get any glue on the lid, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do a similar effect to what you've done, Josh, and cover mine in glue, but I'm going to use the 3D adhesive, because I'm going to actually stick something to it. So just taking some of that adhesive.
I love that as a use for the foils, because it's where the foils really come into their own with having it a 3D object that you've got to stick them to. They've already got that adhesive back, as you say.
Exactly, it's so easy. And all I'm going to do is take a sponge and just dab off some of the excess. This is just a sea sponge, and I'm just going to dab over it. I found that a sponge works better with this 3D adhesive, just because you can just really stamp it over those stencils.
Oh, I love that effect.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought of that to do that.
I guess you could have done that. Yeah, it's like a frosted effect. You could just really leave
very
it.
Halloweeny.
It is. Well, I'm going to completely cover it anyway. So.
Oh yeah. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to actually. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to bring on the big shot machine because I do have something
somewhere
to cut.
down there.
It's somewhere down here. Lovely. It's the Foldaway, so it's compact.
Let me
I'll
move
stick
over.
that in there. Okay. Probably turn it the other way around so we can reach the handle. And I will actually, just for sort of my own peace of mind, I'm going to wipe up that little glue splodge there, just because I know that some people at home, like I would be watching this and going, that needs wiping up.
Well, there you go. While you're doing that, I'm going to add some glitter over the top of where I've added that adhesive. So I'm just using some of our black glitter. This is our biodegradable glitter, which is fantastic. And I'm using one of the colours from our neutral stack. So these come in, the neutrals come in a stack of 5, which is really handy. And I think for Halloween, you're going to end up using a few of these colours. So I'm literally just going to take that glitter and just sprinkle it while the adhesive is still wet.
Ooh.
And we're going to add some sparkle, because every occasion needs a bit of sparkle. I know Halloween's supposed to be spooky, but...
That is so cool.
And then if you feel like you need a bit more, which I do, I'm going to pop it back in my funnel tray and just go over it again. And then I'm going to peel some of those elements off. So it's always good to have your funnel tray to catch any excess, guys. So just bear that in mind.
Game changer.
It is, isn't it?
I'm just going to cut my sentiment while you're doing that, but I thought I'd explain. I have added one of my adhesive sheets to the back of some black cardstock here. So this is what the adhesive sheets look like here. I'll stick that there.
Hey, there we go.
So all we need to do is peel the back off this, put it on some cardstock, and then essentially you've turned your card into a sticker.
Nice.
Which is great. So I've taken the boo sentiment here because I'm just using a little jar, and we've only got room for a boo, but in this set there's loads and loads of sentiments. Let's have a quick look at them. Here we've got I Put a Spell on You, we've got Hocus Pocus, Toil in Trouble, Happy Halloween, Eek. I love the fact that they're not just, your generic sort of standard
I love that.
sentiments. And there's a few more on there as well, but I'll let you guys see them for yourself. There we go. There we are. I'll just prep my
nice.
my little sentiments now.
Well,
Do
I
you
can
need to keep the
peel.
machine here?
No, we can pop it behind. I'll grab it in a second.
that's good.
I'm literally going to try and peel these off. If you feel like you need some tweezers, just take some tweezers, but you should be able to peel them off. They might tear just a little bit, so just pull off each section. Just take your time.
I had pre-cut these, by the way. So I've taken the ghost element from this set over here.
That's so cute that we're both using a ghost.
Different styles, yeah. So we've got the retro Halloween one here, and what I like about it is it's got this outline if you want it, and it's got like an inner part as well, but it just cuts loads of detail, and the story behind this. I remember someone asking Tim while we were on a call with him, and he was saying that they came from those sort of, you know, the high school billboards that you'd have, you know, in sort of American-y high schools where they'd show what was coming up, you know, sort of a Halloween festival or something like that. The designs were taken from that sort of thing, so they're almost like clip arty sort of designs, and I just think that's really cool.
I love that. I love that they're like a retro vibe.
Yeah, anything with a story behind it.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. So I'm going to stick that. It's going to be black on black. I'm sticking that to the front of my jar. And again, this is where those sort of adhesives have come into their own here, because I've got room for my boo down there and then my ghost is on there. So I'll stick these down. They fit really nicely as well. Yeah.
Okay. So I've just peeled mine off. So I'm going to do 2 jars, but the first one is pretty much done. So once you've peeled away those ghosts, you're left with that effect where you can see through into your jar. And what I've then done is I added a couple of ghosts on the top. I'm going to show you how to do that on my second one. But if I just peel these off, I've popped a little light inside. And let's switch that on. And you should be able to see through our little ghost to our light.
Can we turn the lights down?
There you go. You can kind of see it, can't you? There we go.
That is good. So something like that, just on a mantelpiece, especially with that flickering light at Halloween, it's just so cool.
Looks so cute, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and cosy.
Yeah, definitely. If you pop it in a windowsill so everybody knows that they can come yours for trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
I'm going to move on to the second one while you carry on.
I was just going to say, I've got a daughter now, so I'm looking forward to a bit of trick-or-treating, because obviously I haven't done this in years and years and years since I was very, very young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just mean so that I get a massive bag of candy that I can eat, because she doesn't have any teeth yet, so she can kind of generate all the candy and then I'll eat it afterwards, which would be great.
Are you going to dress her up in like a really cute, like podgy pumpkin outfit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go, rather than going cute, even though she's a baby, I'm going to go for terrifying. I don't know what I might do is like, I don't know, a horrible creepy clown or something. I'm sure Susie will let me dress her up like that.
Bless. I'm just going to grab the kitchen roll from over here.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm going to explain how. So I'm going to start dry brushing this. Now, I only painted this part of the bigger jar to show you the painting process, but I would be waiting for this to dry now. And it's those streaks in the paint that are really going to pick up the dry brush later on. So it doesn't need to look, this doesn't need to look, you know, perfect, even paint. The kind of, because it's a Halloween-y sort of mixed media style make, the more streaks and blemishes in it, the better.
Yeah.
So
the imperfections, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. The imperfections are more like happy mistakes in this regard. So I'm going to add 3 different shades of, and I'm going to go with green this time, but any colour that you were using, just make sure you go from a light, from a dark first, come in with lighter afterwards, and then your lightest colour, which I've gone for this nice sort of creamy colour.
Nice. And
the reason I've chosen these paints here is because they've just got a bit of chalkiness to them that I need for this sort of technique. And there we go. So while you're doing what you're doing, I'll be off doing a bit of dry brushing.
Okay, so you're just literally going to rub over it back and forth with the paintbrush like really lightly.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, that's probably a good thing to highlight here is dry brushing. For anyone who's new to it, it's a process of, you know, it requires patience. You just got to keep going over the same area. It's sort of what it says on the tin. It's a dry brush. Get a dry brush, take a tiny bit of paint.
That's so cool. I like how it's just like highlighting those die cuts that you popped on there.
Exactly, and that's the effect we're going for.
Yeah, and like those grains that you mentioned with having the glue underneath.
Yeah, look at them. They kind of look spooky. Yeah. It's almost like a worn kind of mossy wall or something. So I'll carry on with this.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my second one, just because mine are maybe a little bit simpler, a little bit more cutesy, so I thought I'd throw in two. So what I'm going to do is I've got a strip of stencil film, so I've got it in packaging under here actually. So this is our Sizzix Stencil Film, and you can make stencils with it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a translucent effect?
Translucent,
that's
transparent,
the one. Yeah. Around my jar. So I've cut it to the size where it could go all the way around my jar, and then what I've done is I've cut a strip of black cardstock to the same length, and I'm just going to tear this all the way along so I could create like a little bit of a hilly effect almost.
Oh, I like that. An organic tear.
Yeah.
I do. This is something that I'm a massive fan on doing, sort of, you know, making those organic, I use the word organic too much I think, but natural sort of movements, because if you're trying to draw a hill, you're not going to get a better effect than if you've done a random tear like that.
Exactly, and I think, like you say, it's going to look a little bit more spooky when it's torn as well.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to make sure that the beginning and the end are about the same height. So if you need to trim off or tear off a little bit, then that's absolutely fine, just so they're a similar height. And then what I'm going to do is, I actually need some of your glue. Can I steal your
yes,
express
you can.
glue,
And
since it's here?
While you are, can I? I'm going to watch yours for a sec, but I'm also going to pinch your glue gun.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Sharing.
We're absolutely brilliant here at the Sizzix Studios. We're very kind to each other. So are you adhering stuff here? I thought it might be a good chance for me to just explain something that I'm doing with the glue, but
okay.
I don't want to ruin your flow.
No, you go.
Okay, so all I'm doing here is at this process, I'm going to create some blobs that are going to come down here, and this, I almost forgot to do it. So these are going to create, when this dries, it's going to create almost the effect of something that's in the jar, maybe a potion or something like that, kind of dripping its way out. And don't worry, I will replace the glue in here because I've
got loads.
Oh, there you go. You've come prepared. Of course, you've come prepared. I shall need to give you more credit.
Well, I don't say anything, but
I wouldn't have remembered.
Cool. So you just need to keep going with those and leave them to kind of set.
Yeah, that's it. And then I'm just going to carry on my dry brushing process now. Nice.
Love that. Well, since I've got my little jagged base, I can now start to add a bit of a scene. So using the other elements from the Sizzix die that I've got, I'm going to take things like the headstone and the cat and the bats, and I'm going to create a little bit of a graveyard scene, spooky scene. So I've pre-cut some of them, and actually I've already put some adhesive on the back. So the same Sizzix adhesive sheet that you've used, I'm going to use those on the back of my cardstock.
They're so handy, aren't they, those adhesive sheets?
I know.
When they first came out, I thought, well, I don't mind, just applying the glue, but you know what? It's such a time saver. You don't get those messy marks with them.
Yes.
I think that's a big thing. You don't get the kind of messy little shiny glue marks.
Yeah. To be honest, if I was more prepared, I should have put adhesive already on the back of my black cardstock that I ripped, and that would have been a lot easier. But
there's me calling you organised.
I know. I just hid it away. So I'm just going to pop my cat down, and then my little...
Mike Hat.
My
Who's
cat.
Mike Hat? No.
You know, my cat. And then I'm going to put one more of the little gravestones down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the die set, because in this die set you get a little piece that says boo on it, and what you can do is once you've cut your gravestone, you can pop this over the top and we can die cut in, so you can have the word boo on the gravestone. So I'm going to grab my machine.
So we've both gone with boo as well.
I know. It just goes to show, like, just using even some of the same elements or the same ideas, or like even both using the adhesive sheets, how different something can come out.
Yeah, that's it. And this sort of thing will appeal to you whether you're a mixed media maker, or you like it a bit sort of messy, or whether you like that lovely clean style.
Exactly. So just peel that off. And then look, you get a little boo in your gravestone. It's not the spookiest graveyard, I must say, but...
Oh, well, so, I think,
we don't want to scare the little ones.
Yeah.
So there we go. I'm quite happy with that. And then if you just give it a little bit of a bend, so particularly that bottom piece, we want to make sure it goes all the way around. And then I'll grab my jar, and all I will do is pop just a piece of double-sided tape, just because I want it to be quite strong and I don't want to use glue for this. So I'm just going to take some tape. She says it's very sticky, this double-sided tape.
I mean, that's good.
It is good.
I'm just going to add a few more little drips while you're doing that, because this is the sort of thing that you could get carried away with, and that's fine. You can just keep making and making, keep adding to it until you're really happy with it. But just look at that. Look at the way that it's all splodging out the jar there.
That. It looks like slime.
Yeah, it does, like a big jar of slime, and I love it.
Yeah, if you just make sure everybody can see it.
There we go. Let's have a look at that front camera.
So pretty.
And the glue dries so fast as well that I've just applied that, but I can already dry brush it, without it sort of stringing. So it's quite a quick process as well.
That is cool.
Now I'm going to stop there with this one, because it's very easy to get carried away and just keep dry brushing until you can't see any of the image.
Right,
but
yeah.
Again, I could put a little candle in this and it would just about shine through as well. But while you're doing this, I'll pop out my other jar
this around.
and I will keep going with it.
I feel like I've made it slightly too small, but it just will overlap ever so slightly. And then, you have your little motif. I'm going to get my finished one because this one I feel like is still drying and still sort of sorting itself out. So once you're happy, you have that translucent effect. And again, I've added these little bits on the top. So I've got a candle in there. Let's pop our candle on again.
Oh wow! And I guess that the stencil film is going to disperse the light in there and make it more even.
So you get like two different kind of effects just from adding some of the stencil film and some of the glitter. I just wanted to highlight how I did these lids as well, because this is just an extra. You don't have to do this. If you want some little creatures on the top of your candle jars, because if you're using a real candle, you wouldn't put a lid on the top because it'd extinguish the flame. But if you're using an LED candle, then you can do this. And all I did was I took the lid and I took, this is our die pick, but something sharp. Just please be careful if you're doing this. And I literally just poked a couple of holes through here. So I'm just going to do one for now, but I'd probably do about 2 or 3 depending on what my design is. And then I'll take some wire. And all I had was green wire, so just a little trick.
It's nice and Halloweeny though, green.
It is, but I wanted it silver. So I'm literally just going to take some of our luster wax.
Oh, do you know what?
And go over the top. Do you want to add some more?
I'm going to add, you can never add too much luster wax, so I'm going to keep going with mine just for a sec. I'll do this until we're finished now.
You said you were going to stop, but
I said you can't stop crafting. And we'll take a bit of scrap.
Okay, so literally I've just gone over that little bit of wire with some glue. I'm just taking off the excess on my hand. I have got wipes down the bottom, but you know what. And then I just poke that wire through there and then give it a little bit of bend on the other side. And then we're going to glue it in place. Leave the lid over there. Oh, okay, so you've just added just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little kind of sheen to there. And because the luster wax is going to make it so that if you catch it from different angles, the silver or whichever colour you're going to use, either sort of silver gold or rose gold, you're going to be able to get little glimmers.
That's good. It really picks up on the drips.
Yeah, it really does. It's really highlighted those drips around there. That is cool. Thanks for letting me use that. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue to keep that wire in place.
and then just let that dry for just a couple of seconds. And then we can stick some of the die cut shapes on the top, and you can add as many or as few of these as you want, like I said. So
they're really cool though. When you add those bits on the top, it makes it a sort of interactive make, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? And then you can just like, I'm just going to take like a little bat, and if I just give him a bit of a bend.
Yeah,
I'm covered in
this is like
all
me.
the effects.
This is what I look like all the time.
And then just pop a little bat on, just with some hot glue. And then you can have, like I say, the finished effect where you've got multiple, and you can just screw that on top of your jar. And like, you could literally just pop them on. I suppose you put glue in, but like,
yeah,
if you wanted
that works on either of our
and you
mitts.
could like paint these if you wanted to with the same technique. With
yeah, do you know what I would do with the lid on this? If I was going to use the lid, which I could have done, I would paint this. I'd paint it black again, do some effects to it, and I'd have it kind of just crooked, so that you could see the slime kind of oozing out.
Yeah.
But underneath the lid, like there's so much in there, and it's reacting because it's a potion, and it's going to pour out and knock the lid off in the process.
That'd be cool. I mean, you could even put a candle in yours.
Ooh, wait, should we see it? Should we try it with the lights?
Yeah. I don't know if it'd work, but
it might do. You might get a bit of a flicker. Do you know what? I can see.
Oh yeah, you can.
I can see the flicker through there. I hope that you can kind of pick that up, but it's a very subtle flicker through there. I think it's really cool.
That is cool.
I love this candle, the way that it flickers. It looks
I know, they look so realistic, don't they? And you can get them, like I say, online or craft stores. But you could also pop some sweets in there. So we've got some candy corn.
Ooh, yeah. What do you like to do over Halloween? Have you ever been out trick-or-treating? Do you go out partying?
Yeah. Usually I love carving pumpkins. I'll go all out and carve pumpkins, but that's about it. But I must say, don't hate me guys, but I'm not a fan of candy corn.
You're not? Do you know what?
This is like an autumn one, so there's candy corn in there, I think.
I always thought that candy corn was just what they called popcorn in the US. But then Alexis was like, oh, I'm going to send you some candy corn, so she sent us this. And I do like it, but I don't get it, because to me these look like little ice lollies or rockets or something. But
that's British people for you.
I tell you what, they are nice.
How many do you
Right, I haven't brought me dinner in.
Just snacking on our videos now. But let us know, guys, what is your favourite Halloween candy, or what do you like to do for Halloween? Like US versus Europe.
I love that. I love hearing about the US customs. So if you're watching over in the US, because Halloween's a big thing over there, I'd love to hear all about it, and I'd love to see what you've made, using these dyes for your Halloween experience.
Yeah, let us know if you upcycle some jars or something and create some spooky effects or some cutesy effects.
And send us some pictures.
Yeah, that would be lovely to see. So yeah, I think that's everything from us today, isn't it?
Brilliant. All right, everyone. Well, have a very spooky Halloween, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.